Um,
Hey guys, welcome back to Anything Goes with Sania and Leah. We are on episode 9 today, which is mad.
I feel like we say that every week.
I know, I just can't believe it though. Can you? Like 2 months.
9
And I
nine
feel like we have
weeks.
so much to talk about today, so I'm excited for this.
Yeah, to be fair, we have literally spent the last half an hour talking before we even started the podcast.
We
We
probably
do
should have
that
just recorded that.
yeah, we do that every single time, and it's just because us girls love to have a chat and love to gossip and catch up because we don't really speak apart from on the podcast, do we? Unless like one of us has
No.
posted something and then we reshare it or comment back to it. But
Yeah, a little bit
like
on Instagram.
yeah. Like this is our catch up, or if it's me going, Leah, can't do this time, help. That's like a bit later this week. Yesterday I went to go see Tom, so I had to change the podcast time, but that was fun. That was exciting.
Yeah, I want to hear about this because I feel like you mentioned it when we were talking before, but I was like, we'll save this for the podcast.
For the
So
podcast.
can we have like a coach visit update?
Yes, of course. So first thing I'm going to say, and you'll probably agree with this, is seeing your coach in person is so important, specifically if you're in like a diet phase or a prep, because the even though you can keep your check-ins consistent, the look is always so different in person. So like for example, like I was shocked when Reece said this because he doesn't really say much like about anything. He's just very
Yeah.
himself. And when he obviously I only see him like once or twice a week, like we hardly see each other, but it was like one of those things where he was like, oh, you look a lot leaner in person. He was like, in photos like they don't really basically do you justice at all. And I was like, oh, that's good. I was
Like
like, I'd
Reece.
rather this was Reece, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's good because I'd rather I'd rather look
Yeah.
shit in pictures than look shit in person. Which was really positive because I thought I looked lean in photos, which I think I do, but if I look leaner in
Yeah.
person, then I'm all for
Better.
it. So I thought that's really good because it's come in time for Tom to see me, because if the photos aren't portraying what I actually look like in person in decent lighting, he
Yeah.
needs be able to see me, because that will give him like an updated vision as to kind of how I look like.
Yes. Makes sense.
So I saw him. I went to Worcester. It's about an hour away from me. While
That's
Malvern,
not too bad.
no, it's really not that far. I really don't mind the
Your
travel.
Instagram story cracked me up
What one?
when you were like, I'm in Worcester or Malvern or somewhere. God, you were like, I don't know what
Oh,
you were
I
on
was
about,
like,
but it
God knows where
absolutely
I am.
You're like, I don't know where I am.
Honestly, I just said, Tom, send me a address. You know what? Do you I know this is off topic, but do you like when you put something on the sat nav, do you have to check it like a million times, like whilst you're driving there, because you think you're going to the wrong place? No.
Um, I'm really bad at directions, really bad, and I just put somewhere in and like follow it, and people are like, where are you going? I'm like, I don't know. I just put it in the sat
Put
nav.
it in. See, I'm similar to that,
Yeah.
but I'm so worried that I've accidentally clicked like the
Right.
wrong one. So as
Yeah.
I'm driving, I'm always like, am I going to the right place? Like it's like I have goldfish brain or something. But yeah, so went to go see Tom, and we just went through a few rounds of I was only there for like 30, 40 minutes because that's all we basically
Yeah.
needed. And he just went through my two bros posing, my PCA posing, basically was just having like a good look. He actually gave me some tips on posing as well, which was fabulous.
Oh, fab.
I know, because he was like, there was a few things like he was like, you do know how to do this, remember how to do this. And I was like, I mean, I do know, but thanks for reminding me. Like it's good that he knows that, because he doesn't have
Yeah.
many like bikini girl competitors.
Yeah.
So went to go, he's really happy with the look. And he
That's
said,
good.
similarly to what Reece said, I was like, Reece said something similar, like, what do you think? Like, do you think I look dead on dead the same as photos? And he was like, no, you definitely look leaner in person. He was like, the look's definitely a lot better in person.
That's what you want, though, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
nothing worse than when you see someone on photos and they're like shredded,
like,
and then you see them in person, you're like, what?
yeah. And then we were basically just discussing like show days. So because I look leaner in person, my first show day has changed. So we're doing a PCA show before we go into Two Bros, which I really, really wanted to do because
Yeah.
I
Be fun.
love PCA. The atmosphere is great, the time on stage is great, and I affiliate with them a lot. And to me, it was really important to do that. But at the end of the day, even though it was really important to me, would it have been the best decision provided I wasn't ready? Absolutely not, because I'm not going on stage looking at 60%. Like, there's no way. But no, he's really, really happy. My weight is just absolutely plummeting. Like, from yesterday, I've dropped 0.5 of a pound.
It's
Like,
coming down. I saw that on your Instagram the other day, actually, with it coming down quick.
honestly, Tom was like, this is not how it happened last time. He was like, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know.
Okay.
Because last time I competed, what would happen is I would drop like a kilo, but then I would maintain for like 7-8 days, and
That's
then
what mine does.
drop again, then maintain. So like it was like I was saying to you earlier, like it was slowish at the start, and I think that's just because I had a lot of stress going on. Like just external stress that happened like literally 2 weeks into my prep. So I think with me being quite emotional and quite like stressed out without trying, I was trying not to be stressed, but then me trying not to be stressed was making me stressed, and then business and then uni. It was just a nightmare. But now I kind of feel like I'm in such a good position. I started prep in a good position, like money wise, like relationship wise with Reese, friendship, coach, just everything is like nothing's holding over my head at the moment. I think that's why my body is responding so well, because stress
does make a massive difference.
It does. Like, do you find when you diet, if you're stressed, like your body is like, no, thank you.
Yeah, you just need like stability and like routine, I think. Like for me, like being in the house, like having the business like set up, everything ticking over really nicely. And like last year when I was close to university and I had loads of stuff going on in the background, what was like massively stressful. I was like, that was the same time I was relaunching the business. And also me and the coach I was working with went separate ways, and it was just so much. And I was like, this is like not manageable right now. It was awful.
It's hard because like, you know that you need to manage stress, but you can't help it if something happens. Like you can't help if like an external issue happens. And I think this is one thing that I've truly learned about myself, this prep, is if it's an issue that you aren't directly involved in and you cannot help it, and there's nothing, or you are directly involved in and there's literally nothing that you can do, then you've just got to accept that and just go, I'm going to do what I can. But if I can't do anything, I can't solve this problem, then why am I stressed out about it? And even though it took me a few weeks to kind of get to that point, it really kind of, it has made my prep easier, knowing, okay, like I'm still doing everything that I can, but I can't do anything to solve this problem. So
it's a good mindset to have, though, that is like on anything, not just like on prep, but just life in general.
Yeah, I agree. And the last couple of years have definitely shown that for me. Like I was definitely I was a follower, not a leader. And being a follower, I was easily influenced, and I put myself with people around me, and I'd make and then their issues would become my issue. And then I would act like them and all that kind of stuff. Put myself like that person or people that I was surrounding myself with. And then I realized I'm not happy. I'm becoming someone that I don't want to be. I'm stressing about certain things. This person is this person, blah, blah, blah. And then literally the last couple of years, I was like, with second year of uni, actually, last year, I was like, fuck this. I am severing all ties to anyone who at all negatively impacts my life, stresses me out, or does anything like that, because there is no point having people like that in your life. And I think that is why this prep has also gone really smooth, because the people that I am surrounded with are only providing me with positivity, only benefiting my life. I also benefit them, of course, but I have such a secure circle.
Good circle.
That there's no negativity seeping in, and that's exactly how it should be.
That's what you want, though, isn't it? Because it does have such an influence on you if you're around people that are like, or doing anything in life that is gonna, bring you down. It's just not what you need, is it? And it really does affect like mindset.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember me and you speaking about a certain situation where, like, if anything, what happened was a benefit to you, because now you're in a better position, and like you could now find who you want to be with and work with, and make sure that they positively impact you, when in reality, if you kept going with that person, it would negatively impact you so much, and it really affected you. So
yeah, 100%. And I also think from that as well, what I was speaking to, so I actually went, I've never really spoken about this before, but I was working with like a therapist for like a good few months, which I think is actually a really good thing, right? Just from business, it wasn't anything life-wise, because everything's good. It was just from like sometimes business-wise, it's just nice to have someone, yeah, you just need to basically talk about what's in your head, right? And she was like, everything that you do, even if it seems like a really negative thing, there's always something to be learned from it. So it's like there's like with that happening, yeah, it might not have worked out how you planned, but you can take something from that and learn from it, and that's going to give you so much more like knowledge around next time you do that, because you're going to have so much experience with it. So it's like, rather than viewing it as a really negative thing and being like, why did this happen? I wish this hadn't happened. She's like, it's in the past, it's happened. You can't change it. Like, take what you can from it. And actually, it might have been a really positive thing that happened.
Well, if you look back now, it has been positive.
Yeah.
It's so true. Like, shit things happen, and I know people are like, yeah, but think of the positives. And at the moment you won't. But like your therapist said, like, you've learned and now you know how to move forward. And
it's the same with anything, isn't it?
Literally. Yeah. So that is the update.
Exciting. I cannot wait. I'm like so excited for you,
I'm so excited too. I just cannot explain to you how different this prep is. And I hope this gives people a little bit more belief in their preps, because my first prep was definitely a lot harder. I didn't know what I was going into. I don't know if you found that, like, everything was new to me.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not nice, is it? The first, well, not nice, but it's harder because you're a bit oblivious.
Yeah, and naivety is good, because I was just like, yeah, cool, we'll do whatever. Like, it's fine. Oh, I should be feeling like this. Oh, cool, blah, blah, blah. But I thought I was really in touch with my emotions. I thought, this, and that. But now I'm like, now I know exactly what's happening. I know exactly what I should feel like or shouldn't feel like, or if I'm being too overly emotional, or I know exactly what things to look out for. I'm not going into show day like, what the hell show day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get
what happens backstage? Like, what happens on show day? Like, how do I get my tan? I know all this shit. So there's like 20 million things less to stress about on your second time. And then even less on your third time.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, because you just know, it's just, it just gets better, doesn't it, the more you do it. I'm so excited for the show.
I'm excited for when you start, because when do you start prep?
I think it's literally like 7.5 weeks now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, literally 7.5 weeks. Ooh.
It's so mad, because like you're literally going to be starting and
you're going to be mid
kind of like on its way to finishing.
I keep paranoid I'm going to say it. You know what? I've got my first 2 girls starting prep in less than a week now as well. Yeah.
There's September, right?
Yeah, they're both doing first timers in September, and then we think we're going to go for the FitX show as well, because I want them to do like another federation, because obviously that show, I've said this to both of them, is a very competitive show.
It's competitive, but it's also like just so erratic that there's so many people there.
Yeah.
If you do not stand out from the very set go, you don't get a second look. Like, it's just how it is. Like, on other shows, you can usually like pose better, do better, and you will get looked at a fair few times. But with how busy September is, like, you need to be bringing your A game as soon as you walk on that line, soon as you do your call. If you're someone who takes time to warm up, no, like, you've got to be there full send, because I think in bikini there was like 60, 70 gals. There was 4 bikini cat. It was, and half these girls didn't even get looked at once. I promise.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So yeah, but I'm excited. So they're going to do that, and then they're going to do the FitX, and then obviously we'll just see where they're at from there. But I'm honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's going to be fun, because these are your first prep clients, right?
yeah, these are my prep clients. Obviously, I've got I mean, I'm very confident with where they're at and kind of prepping them and everything. But obviously I've got Will, he's prepped people before. I've got Dan, who's said he'll look over anything that I want like a second opinion on. So it's really nice because I've got a very good like support system around me where I can be like, I'm gonna do this. What do you think? Do you think that's the right decision? You know, so I've got like Dan is an incredible coach with a lot of experience. So having him like on my shoulder, I'm like, okay, that, you know, it's nice for them as well.
Yeah,
So
100%. And I think like also, I feel like every coach should have someone that they talk to as well. That I don't believe that I know that Tom, he'll speak to Cal if that an issue arises that he's not 100% sure on. I know that Reese will speak to Finn. I know, like, I feel like no matter what quality or what level you're at, you always have someone that you have to look up to. So it's good that you've got people that you trust and that, you know, they're going to help you through it because, you know, like, it's your first time, so it'll be good for you to learn. But I'm excited to see them because I think am I posing both of them or just one of them?
I think you might have done. I think you've had a session with Beth before. Yaz, you've been.
Yeah. I did think so. I'm excited to see her. She needs to better her side poses, so that's what we're going to be working on.
Well, I have been getting her to send me like posing videos like 3 times a week because I'm like, we just need to smoothen the transitions out a bit more. Because the photos, I saw the photos and I was like, yeah, we're getting there with them. But then the videos, we just need to smoothen them up a bit. So I've just, right, you just need to literally like practice now to get them like smooth and flowing, because obviously when you're on stage, like you can't afford any time when you're not posed. Like that whole transition needs to be smooth all the way around.
Yeah. You know what a lot of advice I actually give to my clients as well is like flow is so hard to get if you aren't confident with what you're bringing out there.
Yeah.
So like one thing I always say to them, I'm like, if you know the steps, do the steps and put yourself in scenarios that will push you to be confident.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have confidence, your flow's going to be wank. Like it's going to be wank because you don't believe that you're doing well. You don't believe that you're posing well. You don't believe in yourself when you
and that comes across on stage as well.
Exactly. And I always say to them, I'm like, everyone always tries to focus on flow from the very get-go. And I'm like, just stop trying to think about flow. Stop trying to be like these Instagram girls, aka me. But stop trying to be like us because you're not there yet. You're not there yet. And it comes with confidence, it comes with coordination, and you are learning still. You're still learning the basics of things. But Yaz is at the point where now she needs to put herself in situations where it will help benefit her in terms of like confidence and in terms of like, you know,
100%.
rinse and repeat. Because anytime that she doesn't have her hubby video for her, she has some sort of flow and smooth parts to it, but then as soon as hubby comes and films, it's like she goes really nervous again, which I completely get, because when I pose in front of Reese, I do get quite nervous because I value his opinion. But she just needs to, like, everyone who like is, you know, saying that they're not flowing, like, I promise you it will come. She's got to give it some time. It's like a flick of a switch, all of a sudden it's there. Like you can't force it. I can help it, but you can't force flow. Like
it just comes, doesn't it? And you're like,
okay. As you get leaner, you'll feel more confident as well. So you'll probably benefit from getting leaner as well. But that's just one thing that people focus on way too much. And it's like, you can't teach flow. Like, even though how much people say you can teach flow, you can teach movements of the hands and the foot positioning and timings, but flow comes from the individual. This is why there's like different techniques of teaching posing. Like there's like powerful poses, flowy poses, sassy poses, cute poses. Like there's all different types of characters, and I'll put you in a category which will determine what type of flow you have. So like
what category am I in?
You're more of a powerful poser.
Am I?
I like that. You're a bit of like a hybrid of a powerful with a slight. You're like 80% powerful, 20% flowy. So you hit more of like the powerful moves, the down moves, the more angular moves, less kind of like
I'm not really like that on stage.
But you bring the element of flow with how you go into the poses. So do you see, like, it's very different, like, and this is where people think flow is just one meaning, but it's not. It's actually the flow of the person. So I have a lot of people who are powerful posers, and I'm not going to get them to be like doing this with their hand, this with their hand, and all that kind of, no, I'm going to get them to flow within the powerful poses.
That makes so much sense, actually. I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, honestly, like, so when people see people on Instagram and they're like, I'm not flowing like that person, I'm like, you're not going to. You're not going to. Honestly, I'm like, you're not going to, because you're not that person, and you don't pose like her. It's like your own personal self, and that's how it should be. So I love my clients, but sometimes I'm like, girls, stop it, stop being silly. You're not going to look like this person. You never will. Like, it is how it is. But we're going to bring the best version of you, and we're going to make the posing as personable. Like me and you, for example, we pose completely different, but we competed in the same category. Like, I was more of a flowy, less angular person. You were more of a powerful, angular, showing up. Like, that's the difference. But it brought the best out in me, and it brought the best out in you.
It's the same with prep as well, right? It's like I think I got asked this question because me and Han went to see Dan last week in Hull, and it was really fun actually. We did some training, we had a videographer, we recorded the session, and then it was actually quite funny. And then we sat down and did like a YouTube Q&A. We got like a load of questions in, so we did like a Q&A. One of the questions was about like knowing your category and the difference between like obviously like train bikini, athletic. There's like certain crossovers, isn't there? And like, how do you know if you're toned or athletic, etc. And it was basically we basically said like, you know, it's the same kind of what you just said with the posing. Like, there's no one way of doing it. It's like what suits you the best, what brings out the best in you. And I think that's so important as well when you're on prep. It's like, don't compare what you look like to other people, because it's so easy to look at people and be like, they're leaner, they're this, they're that. It's like, that might not suit you and your look. So just focus on yourself, like be the best that you can be. And it doesn't matter, because again, like you said earlier, you can't control what anyone else looks like. All you can do is give your best to prep and show up the best that you can on that day, knowing you've given it 100%. So it's the same like with the prep, like just focus on yourself, don't worry about what anyone else is doing.
This is it. And like, I think for my first show was a true representation of that, because I was up against Bex. Can't remember her last name. I think she was Team DW. Was she?
Yeah. Oh God, what is it? What is her last name? I can't remember.
Fitness.
It's like Fitness Bex.
Fitness Bex or something.
Why am I having
I was up against her, and I didn't actually find her until 2 weeks out from my show. And once I found her, I got into the rut of looking at her, because she held a lot more muscle than me. That's it. She held a lot more muscle than me. Like, she posed really, really, really well, and she was definitely someone that obviously like I felt threatened by, and like I thought this is some competition. And I would compare myself. She's leaner than me. She's got more muscle than me. She's got this. She's got that. She's got this. She's got that. And I was just getting in my own head about her. Met her on show day, and then we were up against each other, and I brought the best package that we thought would benefit me. I definitely don't think I was leaner than her. I can't really remember. She definitely had a lot more muscle than me, like, for sure. But I won because I brought the best overall package for my physique, for what they were looking for in comparison. I mean, there was 1 point between us both, but it just goes to show that even though that may suit that person, is that what the judges are looking for? Does it suit your physique? Does it suit the criteria? Like, you can compare yourself to so many people that you may think are better than you, or they are better than you, or they're not. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you never know until you literally stood next to them on the stage. And you should, and it really fucked with my head. And then I thought to myself, after that point, I am never doing that again.
No, it's just wasted energy.
No. And whether I would have lost or whether I would have won, I would have gone, okay, I just need to be better. And I can't compare myself to someone when I don't even know what they're going to look like on the day. Their physique is completely different to mine. Like, me and her shape is completely most of us on that stage had completely different shape. So it's like, I was a fool to think about even comparing myself, and it's so easy to do. I understand that, but genuinely it's just wasted energy. And I really, really kind of thought, wow, like, if I really let someone put me down that much, even though they weren't even trying to put me down, because I was doing it to myself, I could have put that energy into something else and potentially could have brought a better package, like with the outcome that I got, I was like, well, why did I do that?
Yeah. I get you.
So it's
So
one
no
of those
comparing, guys.
don't do it, because honestly, it's not worth it. And like, trust me, like oh my God, I remember when I met you for the first time for our tan, I did not, you look really tall in your Instagram photos.
Everyone says this.
Look really tall. When I saw you, I was in shock. Because
It was
I
when we sat on the stairs, wasn't it? When we were
yeah,
like back, where was it? When we were
it
registered
was in
or something.
Emporium. And I
Yeah.
was like, I thought you were going to be in toned figure tall. And I then got really stressed out because I was like, I'm going to be up against her. She's tiny. I was like, I thought she was like 5'8". She's not. She's like smaller than me. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Everyone always thinks I'm really tall. They're like, you're so much smaller in person. I'm like, thanks.
No, honestly, like, I don't know what it is, but your photos just make you look taller. But this is what I'm trying to say is like, you just have no idea with Instagram or photos.
No.
Like, there were so many people that I met on show day that I had followed Instagram, and I was like, fuck me, like you
Yeah.
look completely different, like not in a good way, not in a bad way, just you look different.
Yeah.
Like, you are smaller than I thought. You are really fucking tall. I thought you were yay high.
Yeah.
That, honestly, it's mental. Like, that's another thing that made me put it into perspective, because I was like, fucking hell, like, I really don't have a flying donkey.
Yeah.
I really like, there's no point, because I don't even know. I don't even know through Instagram. You just don't.
No, I know. Yeah. So basically, just do your own thing, focus on you, do the best you can.
Yeah.
Crack on.
Literally that. Well, I know there was a topic that we should quickly touch upon.
Yeah.
Is our backstage experiences, because I feel like,
which is always good fun.
I just feel like you guys need to know it, because I definitely had no idea about some of the shit that happens a couple days leading up to show day and on show day backstage. Like it's mental, isn't it? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Because I thought, because you never see backstage, do you, when you compete, when you're watching the comps, and obviously you go back and literally everyone is just like sat on the floor, just like in little rooms or in corridors. Like, you just go in and it's like a little zoo behind the stage, isn't it?
Yeah, like, it's like that, hundreds, not thousands.
Yeah.
It's like hundreds of competitors, and they're just all there, like,
lay on the floor.
laying on the floor, listening to music, or you'll have like a group of girls who are like absolutely buzzing off their tits because they're excited. That was definitely us at the finals.
That was fun though. I love that. That was so fun.
Loved the finals.
Everyone
was
was together.
Yeah, there was literally 40 of us girls.
Yeah,
because
nice.
we all competed relatively late, so we all kind of knew each other from competing like close together. That was really, really fun. Like, you just like, you'll be fighting over plug sockets. You'll be there'll be girls who, not fighting, but you'll be like, has anyone got a charger? There's just like, it's just fun. Like, you just all talk about like your experiences and stuff, and just, you forget that you're competing against some people that are next to you when you're backstage.
Yeah. I feel like, you said you had like a little funny story.
Okay, so this isn't backstage, right? This is the day before show day.
Okay.
The tanning.
Have I heard this?
I don't know. It's not really that funny. I'm just preparing girls for what.
Okay, tell me the story, because I don't know if I've heard the story.
When I went to get my stage tan, I was oblivious.
We did talk about this in the first episode.
Did we?
About the tan squat situation. Yeah.
Naked. I thought we were going to be an individual pod.
Yeah.
No, there's a circle of us girls with our boobs and our fannies out, tangoed up, assholes at the ready, fans blowing on us, dry.
Yeah.
What?
It is an experience, isn't it?
You pay 70 quid to be in a room full of naked women.
It's like one of those things where they feed the cows and all the cows are in pens and all the cows are like tramping on each other.
So it's just mental. Like, honestly, girls, trust me, unless you go private, you ain't got no privacy.
Well, you don't care at that point. You're too like fucked that late in prep to even worry about what everyone else is thinking.
You don't care, and because everyone else is doing it, you do it. But it's just bizarre.
It's an experience.
I literally remember walking out of there thinking,
What?
I was
Did that happen?
confused. I just didn't even know what to think. I was like,
Oh.
I follow this girl on Instagram and I've now seen her fanny.
Yeah, and probably more when she
Yeah,
squats over backwards.
yeah, honestly. But anyway, yeah, that's just a little backstage kind of just girls when you get that done, that's what happens. And it's the same with boys, but at least they get socks over their willies.
Yeah, yeah, you can't really
Oh.
cover up with your girl, can you?
But anyway, what's your funny story?
Oh, mine. Well, actually wasn't very funny at all. It was very stressful. So at my in my first ever show, I literally, right, it was when I first started competing. I literally knew no one in competing. I didn't really follow that many competitors. I just wasn't very into it. Not into it, but you know what I mean. I wasn't involved with it.
Yeah,
Where
you
now I feel like I know a lot of people. So I was backstage, and my mum came with me backstage because I literally didn't know anyone. And I obviously didn't really know that much, and I used Bikini Bite on my bikini, like the glue. And this was about literally maybe 15 minutes before I was getting on stage. And first my bikini, the hook that was on the back of my bikini, like came off. So my mum had to like sew this hook back onto my bikini. Obviously with the figure suit, it crosses and then it's got the little hooks.
yeah.
So she was there like running around. Has anyone got a needle and thread? Anyone got a needle and thread backstage? And I was like having a hysterical meltdown by this point. And then also I went to put Bikini Bite on my side, and it was one of the ones where it's got the ball roller on. So I squeezed it too hard and the ball came out, and all and all the bikini glue went all the way down my leg. And I was at this point, I was like, oh my God, this could not get any worse. My bikini is broken, the bikini glue. So this is my second ever show in my first ever prep, right, in 2018. This was actually the PCA I think it was in Aldershot. It was like June 2018 in near London. So yeah, I was then running around. The head tan lady of PCA was like, what the fuck have you done? Why have you used that? Having to go at me. And I was there absolutely petrified, like, oh, this is my first show. I was like, I don't know, I'm so sorry. And she was like, don't worry, we can fix it, it's okay. And they were like patting me literally 5 minutes before I got on stage, patting my leg down, all fine in the end, but not what you need like the second time you've ever competed when you're already quite nervous.
You know what? Like your therapist said, you learn from your mistakes. Now,
Don't use Bikini Bite.
no, I have girls saying, oh, so should I get Bikini Bite? And I'm like,
No.
I made that mistake too. It rips your tan off. It doesn't even stick. It's so shit. It's so
just make
shit.
sure the bikini's fitted.
Yeah, it's just shit. Just get bikini bum tape. It's double-sided glue, double-sided tape. You can't see it. It's really, really sticky. But you should be getting a bikini that fits you. So there's only so much you can do if you've ordered the wrong bikini. But that's a good learning point though. Make sure you bring sewing kit, because honestly, you just don't know what's gonna happen. Like, your bikini makers will make your bikini to the best of their ability, but they can't help it if certain clips have been malfunctioned. They can't help it, you know, if you've rattled it around or worn it one too many times. Like, this is one thing that I would recommend is when you get your show day bikini, wear it as minimum times as you can, because it's so fragile that I promise you they'll break. Mine did. Oh my God, actually, I should probably tell you this story. So I got sponsored by Time to Shine into my second show. But she only sent out my bikini because it was such a quick turnaround, like 3 days before my show. So on my show day, I still hadn't received the black bikini, like literally a few hours up to it. But luckily I live in Coventry, so I just kept going back and forth from Coventry to Birmingham. So I was at home at this point, and I went to put my bikini on, my red and black one, because that was the one I was assuming I was wearing, because I was like, it's not going to come, you know, it's like 10 a.m, they're not here, I'm just going to wear this one. I put it on exactly where yours snapped, mine snapped.
Oh God.
But no, mine was here. Sorry,
in the middle.
mine was here. So that, and honestly, and it was the metal that snapped. It wasn't the fabric. So
no, what did you do? Oh, you were the one.
So I was fucked. I was absolutely fucked unless someone could let me borrow their bikini. And do you know what happened 10 minutes after my bikini snapped?
The other one turned up.
Bikini arrived. But honestly, if you can,
have a backup bikini.
Not even a backup bikini, just maybe ask if you can buy if you can buy like a spare connector or have a sewing kit, because if that does happen, you can unpick and just literally sew it together. But because I didn't have a spare connector, I was like,
yeah.
I just don't know what to do. But honestly, bikinis are so delicate, but I wore mine every day for the 2 weeks prior to my show, and then again 3 weeks. So I wore mine for 5 weeks every day to take my check-in photos, and it was just, I'm done. They're so fragile.
Yeah. Do you ever I always have this paranoia before I get on stage that I'm gonna like get on stage and like something's gonna break or a clip's gonna come off or like my boob's gonna pop out. You know when you're doing the routine, right? I never get this. And I'm not gymnastic-y at all. I like used to dance a bit, so I'm like I can do a bit of flowy stuff, but I can't cartwheel, I can't handstand, I can't do splits, any of that stuff. And I'd always think, you see people like flipping and like doing splits, and I'm like, how are you still in your bikini? How is nothing like popping out?
I have so many clients who, if they ask me to do like a routine like that, I'm like, no fucking way, because I can't even do that myself. But like, honestly, when I'm watching shows and I see girls
you're like,
do that,
God.
I'm like, or when they start bending down with their butt back to you, I'm like, how do you know your bum hole isn't out right now? How do you know that? Because you're not gonna feel a breeze.
No.
But let me tell you something. In my first show, my cup was too big. I definitely nip slipped a few times. But like I said, to be honest, you don't really give a fuck.
No.
You really don't.
That's my worst nightmare, though. I always think, oh my God, please let my bikini stay together.
The thing is, though, like, I actually wouldn't even care. Like, if it fucking ripped open, I'd be pissed off. But if it was just a bit of like a cup where,
Yeah,
like,
that's fine. That's fine.
Like, you know what? I really couldn't care. Like, I'm about the same color as my bikini, like the same color as my nipple anyway. I'm that orange. No one's gonna know. But bum holes, that has actually happened before, guys. That has happened before 3-4 years ago. So, not to me.
All coming out now.
A girl actually did a pose like this. It was in like a crab position. Do you know what I mean? For me to show you.
Like a squatted position on the floor.
Let me show you. Hold on. So like, she was like, I'll do it from the front. She was like this, but this way.
No.
And yeah, so her photos got released, and let's just say the thong, because she was squatting and spreading so much. I don't think they checked the photo before they released it. And certain body part was shown. Yes.
Don't squat and spread.
Don't squat and spread, and please.
You call the podcast that? Don't squat podcast, the episode.
But honestly, it genuinely scares the shit out of me. It genuinely scares the shit out of me. But you know, like you said about tanning and stuff, how they can sort it. This is one thing that all my girls stress out about. Weeing, tanning, explain.
Okay, so to be fair, they blot it up, right? So before you go on stage, there's literally, you get your tan the night before, you get your top coat in the morning, and then you get like your glaze basically before you go on stage, and they'll come at you with a little mitt and they'll blotch out any bits that are patchy, a little bit of weave accidentally got on your thigh or whatever. They'll just smooth it over.
I don't know how I did it. I had a shiwi. Not, in my opinion, they're kind of shit. What I'm going to do this year, I'm going to just piss as hard as I can and squat.
You told me about this.
Yeah, because I think when I was trying to get a video with Tom, he was like, what the fuck have you done? I was like, I tried to go for a wee. I don't know how it's gone up my back. I don't know how it's gone there. Okay, it's just gone everywhere. Do you know how hard it is to use a shiwi?
Brilliant. I do use a shiwi.
I find it so hard.
Yeah, but otherwise the wee goes on I obviously don't have a solid wee stream like you. Mine like goes sideways onto my leg.
Honestly, like
maybe I need to clench harder.
Yeah. I was so stressed out about it, but then like you said, like I didn't realize that before you step on stage they literally patch up everything if you've made a mess, so you're absolutely fine.
Yeah, so don't worry if you get, obviously try not to piss on yourself ideally, but if you get a little splash here and there, it's not the end of the world.
No, it's really not. But then worst case scenario, like if you are really stressed about it and you're trying to get good photos but you pissed over yourself, maybe buy some pro tan so you can patch up yourself. But probably not 100% just in case you fuck it up yourself. But it's quite easy to do. Like your tan, what you'll find as well, girls, is, or guys, if a guy's watching this, you're not ever dry.
No.
Not ever dry. So like it's so easy. Like if I was to go like this with my
Yeah.
eyes with the tan, it would mess up. Like it's
Yeah.
not dry like normal tan. It's so thick that
Mm.
it's always tacky. I found that
Yeah.
with my tan anyway.
Mm. Yeah, we should do like an episode on like what to take on show day, because stuff like what do you sleep in the night before, like all that sort of stuff. We should do a little episode on that because that might be quite good. But yeah, I agree. Like it does it basically turns anything you touch orange or smudges so easily.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've done a YouTube video on what to pack, but we can
I saw that.
I didn't go into depths with it, so we can definitely do more like of a discussion kind of thing on like what to take and stuff like that.
Wow.
But yeah, that
Wraps up behind stage.
Yeah. So that was quite fun. We wanted to basically just, have a few educational ones and just a few fun ones. So I thought this was quite a fun one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun.
But anyway, guys, hopefully you have taken some inspo and some understanding of what kind of happens backstage as females, what to not do when you're in a prep, which is compare yourself, and also what it's like to try and just take stress away from a prep and the difference that it can really, really take. So thank you guys for watching/listening, and we'll see. Oh my God, we're double digits next time, episode 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We're in double digits now.
Exciting.
Go back. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. We'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye.